The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
So a Yid told me a story that he has a cheder in a certain place, and a man walked in out of the blue, and he said, "I'd like to take over all the copies here in the yeshiva." Who are you? No, I want to be in charge of the copies. I said, we don't really need a copy person. That's what every kid that gets thrown out of class sent to do copies. Like, we have a copy person. What are we going to do? No money. I want to volunteer. Who are you? Yeah. Here's my Rav. He calls the Rav. This guy, no, he's okay. As far as we know, he's a successful person, just retired. Okay, if you want, you want. Here's the copy machine. So he made a meeting with all the Rabbeim. He said, we're really going to enhance the quality of your copies and just hide them down. We're going to do color copies. He said, no, our machines don't really do so much color copies. We have one. It's very expensive. These machines are out of here. We're bringing new machines in. Whoa. On whose credit card? Mine. And Lemaisa, he put counters on the machines. He wanted to track how many copies they do. So they were wondering, because if you have a leased machine, your machine is leased, you want to count how many copies, because you get only a certain amount of copies. But if you're buying the machine, why do you have to know you want to know how many copies? And for a couple of years, he was doing this. And the Rebbeim were thrilled, and they put out beautiful things, and he was very busy with this, that it should be done. It was mamish, it was awesome. And one day he said, okay, I'm retiring. And what was the cheshbon? Kara myself, v'hashta myself. So he said that the Germans put him to work in the propaganda newspaper machine. And I don't know if he was working for the Strum or for Streicher, but basically he was working producing Nazi flags and Nazi propaganda and Nazi warnings, and that's where he was. That's what he was printing. And he said to think that that the Eibishter put him in such a matzav after the war, where his fingers put together the type. In the old days, you had to put type onto a thing, and he rolled over it with the ink, and he said, we're pushing the murder of Jews and rationalizing the murder of Yidden. He was terribly depressed. He was terribly depressed that he produced this. And his Rav told him, you're going to spend the rest of your life. He said, why did the Eibishter do that to me? Why did the Eibishter make me produce Nazi propaganda? So he said, I can't tell you why the Eibishter does things. But I'll tell you what the Eibishter wants from you right now. He doesn't want you to go around the rest of your life saying, my hands produce Nazi propaganda. He wants you to take your printing skills and use it for Torah. So he actually had a printing shop, but that was for business. Once he retired, he went back to think of it, and he sat down and he made an approximate calculations how long he worked for the Nazis. Print that equal amount of Torah and different things. He wanted to print that amount of whatever he printed there, he wanted to print here. I said, that's why I donated my time to yeshiva. And think about this for a moment. Think of a person that has the courage to be able to say, yes, I'm imperfect. That there, it wasn't his fault. But let's say I did stupid things in my life. Let's say I let the Yetzer Hara get the best of me, and it wasn't the Nazis who forced me to do things. So you want me to waste my life now? You want me to sit and cry? It's not what the Rebbe Shem wants you to do. But how could I possibly fix what I did wrong? So I'm not asking you to fix what you did wrong. I'm asking you to do the right thing now. Let me do the fixing.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org